Hello, and welcome to Amanda's Whimsical Musings. I'm Amanda, and these are my whimsical musings. In honor of today's subject, I am channeling my inner starlet. And it's such a beautiful day today, I wanted to be outside. Robert Redford recently passed away on Tuesday, September 16th. The actor, director, producer, and activist had just turned 89 last month. Redford was one of my favorite all-time actors, starring in, directing, and producing some of my favorite movies. He was one of a kind. Let's discuss. Robert Redford was born in Santa Monica, California on August 18, 1936. He didn't dream of becoming an actor. On the contrary, in a 1986 interview with 60 Minutes Australia, he said that as a kid he made fun of actors and didn't think it was an honest living. But in other interviews, he talks about how much he enjoyed going to the movies and how they were an escape from his lower middle class working neighborhood. Initially, Redford's ambition was to be a painter. He even studied art in Europe. But not seeing a future in art, he eventually transitioned into acting, and he graduated from New York City's American Academy of Dramatic Arts in 1959. For several years, Redford worked in television, on Broadway, and in film. But it was his breakout role as the Sundance Kid opposite legendary Paul Newman that catapulted him to stardom. The 1969 film Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid became the top-grossing film that year and firmly established Redford as a leading man in Hollywood. But more than that, it allowed him the freedom to pursue his passions and live life on his own terms, away from the superficial traps of Hollywood stardom. He had already purchased a small plot of land in Utah in 1961, where he had built a cabin. This small 2-acre plot was only the beginning of the nearly 2,000 acres he would come to own that would be the foundation for his passions, maintaining his independence, fostering the talents and skills of young artists, and environmental advocacy. For decades, Redford would support and promote independent storytellers and new talent through the Sundance Institute, which he founded in 1981, and later the Sundance Film Festival, launched in 1986. All this while still acting and making movies until his last cameo appearance last March in the AMC detective series Dark Winds, which he also produced. Throughout his career, Robert Redford directed a total of 33 films and acted in more than 80 movies. He also launched the careers of now well-known directors Quentin Tarantino, Steven Soderbergh, and Ryan Coogler. There are so many good Robert Redford movies to choose from, but my favorite is All the President's Men, which he produced and starred in alongside Dustin Hoffman. The movie is based on the 1974 nonfiction book of the same name by the Washington Post reporters Carl Bernstein and Bob Woodward. The film is about the Watergate scandal and the investigation of Bernstein and Woodward that eventually led to Richard Nixon's resignation. If you haven't seen it, it is a must-see. Slate magazine calls All the President's Men a superhero flick for journalists. The movie took what could have been a dry retelling of a 26-month investigation and turned it into a relentless and riveting pursuit of the truth. Woodward and Bernstein's investigation, which began in June 1972, culminated with President Nixon's resignation on August 8, 1974, just over 7 months into his second term. The movie inspired me and many others to pursue journalism, which I did and am now a proud member of the Mizzou Mafia. The term Mizzou Mafia refers to the strong and supportive alumni network of the University of Missouri-Columbia, Mizzou, particularly those of us from the renowned Missouri School of Journalism, who affectionately use the term to describe our extensive connections throughout the broadcast journalism world. Back to the movie. All the President's Men makes journalistic research and investigation look thrilling. Even though some in Hollywood thought the subject matter was too dry to make an interesting movie, Redford believed that it was an important story to tell, and it's one that still rings true today as we continue to witness the importance of speaking truth to power and protecting our freedom of speech. Redford could have coasted on his good looks and charisma on the screen, but instead he used his talent and skills to create a platform that others could benefit from, and he told stories that both entertained and made a difference in people's lives. Another outstanding Redford movie is 1980's Ordinary People, his directorial debut for which he received an Oscar. It's about the implosion of a family following the accidental death of the oldest son. The movie shows the different and often damaging ways people deal with profound loss and the importance of honest and authentic communication in dealing with and healing from trauma. I could go on and on about the amazing impact Robert Redford has had on the film industry and the difference he's made in the lives of aspiring movie makers and actors. For now, I'll just say that the world has seen the passing of someone who spent his life being true to himself, his craft, and those who followed. I'll end on a quote by Pablo Picasso that I believe captures Redford's life. The meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give it away. I'm Amanda, and these are my whimsical thoughts for today. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, like, and share. Now, back to your regularly scheduled life. Whimsy out.